Hey y'all, this is Tyler Blake with TylerBlakeArt.com again, and on this episode, number 4 of Let's Draw Presidential Candidates as Zombies, I'm doing some work on the zombie Kamala Harris, the Democrat senator from California. So this time I actually started filming quite a bit earlier in the process, and I thought, maybe this time I'll show some inking, because I don't believe I've really done that much yet. I'm using a Kuretake number 40 brush pen, I want to say. It's got ink cartridges inside, but it has flexible nylon bristles, just like a real synthetic paintbrush. And I've tried the Pentel, and I've mentioned this before on other videos, like on my 100 Days of Making Comics and some different things, but I've used the Copic gas infused and the Pentel pocket brush, and this one has the best control. I can get the most predictable and consistent fine line detail, and here where I'm inking hair, that can be important. I find with some of the other brush pens that it's too easy to accidentally do the line thicker than what you intended. So this one's still my favorite. The ink that it comes with is not waterproof, so I replaced the ink cartridges that it comes with carbon black ink, and that is waterproof and it works really well. So although I could use the ink on these because so this is a B paper sketchbook, and it's their marker edition, because back when I started this project, that's when I was still using Copic markers, and I thought I'll just be, coloring all these with Copics like I did the last time I did the zombie presidential candidates in, excuse me, in 2016. When I had to switch to these Arteza real brush pens that are water-based, the Beep Paper marker journal is excellent for markers. It's not so great with water. I did try a little bit with watercolor, and I didn't really like the way the paper took the watercolor at all. So because of that, I'm inking these in my sketchbook, and drawing and inking them, and then excuse me, it's very early. I'm scanning them, filtering out the blue line, and printing them out on Bristol board, and then doing the watercolor on that. So I think I have picked up some watercolor paper journals that I'll be doing some future projects in, but for now I figured I had already started this project in this sketchbook, so I'll just finish it, and I'll just have a nice inked book when I'm done. So I'm going to refer somewhat heavily to Alfonso Dunn, who has a really good YouTube channel on ink drawing. In this, he talks a lot about starting with major forms, getting those in, and then adding, breaking it up into smaller forms, and then breaking it up into smaller forms until you end up with fine detail. And I find that if you don't follow his advice when you're doing something like shiny black hair, you're lost. You're doomed. So yeah, and the reference photo, and I'll show the reference photo at the end of this video. Her hair is actually pretty straight, so I added quite a bit of wave and texture to it because I felt like if I drew it the way it looked in the reference photo, it would actually be kind of boring, and that's the last thing I want. So drawing glossy dark hair is about form and light and shadow, so you need your contrast in there, and I'm quite happy with the way the hair turned out on this. So here I'm moving into the background wash. I usually do the background washes in these in 2 stages. I'll do like kind of a dark red, and a lot of reds come across as dark pink to me, and I'm not crazy about that, so then I'll go over it with an orange to add kind of more of the tone I like. And then I'm into coloring the face, and this segment is going to cut out quite a bit before the illustration is done. I packed this one a lot more towards the front end, so I kind of went the opposite way, where a lot of these I'm showing like the finishing touches. So there's kind of a big jump between the last bit of color that I show on here and the finished image, which you can see at the end here. So, and actually, you know, it occurred to me while I was editing this video, with the way that I kind of have to set up my phone to, with the angle, these always look kind of distorted on the process video. And this really reminds me of the scene in the first, and I'm talking about the original Evil Dead, not the remake, where Bruce Campbell's girlfriend is, you know, she's become a Deadite and she's taunting him, and anyway, there's like a certain number of people who will know exactly what I'm talking about, and other people will scratch their heads. So let's see. Yes, the color choices on these are quite a bit different from when I started doing my zombie presidents, where I was sticking pretty much with, I was trying to get the skin tone like people looked, you know, as a normal living person. This time I wanted, you know, I figured by using cool colors, it was kind of inspired by the original, and I mean not the remake, of Dawn of the Dead, the classic zombie movie where they're trapped in the shopping mall. And this is George Romero's second classic zombie movie after, of course, Night of the Living Dead, where they didn't have much budget, so they just painted everyone blue. Of course, I'm doing a little bit more than that here, but it's just a little bit of a send up. So originally, I was about to end the video here in a couple seconds, but then I discovered that I had some more footage coming up, which you'll see in just a moment here, where mostly I'm coloring her hair. And I don't really have anything else to say, so please enjoy this free YouTube Creative Commons music.